Hey everybody, it's Irritable Life, and I know that I said I was going to stick to a certain schedule about Tuesdays and or Fridays as far as videos with health tips and or food videos, but I just couldn't wait because I have a dish that I haven't done in so long, and I'm really excited to bring it to you. So this dish is called Edamame Medley. It says it all. And I got these from Trader Joe's. I love edamame. Now, some people can't eat it. You can use peas if you want, but this is sensational, let me tell you. You are going to enjoy this so much. Edamame is really simple. If it's frozen, this is done in boiling water in 4 to 5 minutes. It's nice and it's still crunchy. You want it still crunchy. You don't want it soggy. So we got this, we got potatoes, we got plum tomatoes. We have water boiling right now, which I'm going to add the potatoes to. Remember to salt the water. And here we go. So first you're going to boil the potatoes. You want to salt the water. And here I have the potatoes in water. And the reason I do is because I wasn't ready to use them, and you don't want them to brown so quickly. Alright, so these are in water, and we're going to cook these for about 15 to 20 minutes or until they're fork tender. So this is my little timer, and I'm going to put them to 20 minutes. Alright, so now we are ready. Here is my espresso, olive oil, balsamic vinegar, and spice mixture. I'm going to add it to the mushrooms that I cut in here. Alright, and you know what really gets me excited about cooking? You're going to see in 1 second. Wait for it. That is my absolute favorite part of cooking, is that sizzle. That sizzle in the pan, it's like this empty pan was like an empty canvas. This is my canvas, and it's a new creation. So that to me is just, we are ready to go. All right, so we've got the mushrooms in the pan. I'm gonna cook these a little bit to soften them, just a few minutes, not that much. But look at that. Look at how beautifully brown this is from the espresso, balsamic vinegar, and oh man, I wish you could smell this. It smells so good. You can smell the kind of like the smoky, rich flavor of the espresso. You can smell that balsamic vinegar. Oh my gosh, it's so delish. I love it. I love it. I love it. The tomatoes can be added actually right now, since these are starting to soften, because you don't want soggy tomatoes either. So these are plum tomatoes that I cut. And if you have anybody in your family or friends that have diverticulitis, just make sure you take the seeds out. I've grown accustomed to doing that because a few friends of mine have that. So we take the seeds out. Alright, so this has been cooking for a few minutes, and now you can cook it for a few more so that the liquid can reduce a little bit. But we are ready for the rest. So these are the potatoes and edamame. I'm just going to dump those in there. This is going to be so good. I made this recipe years ago. It's been so long since I've actually done it. Just put that in here. As you can see, this is a lot. But, oh man, this is going to be so good. Oh, yummy. Now this recipe actually came about just by chance. I had gone to Trader Joe's, gotten some edamame, got those mini potatoes. These are regular size potatoes, actually smaller than regular size, but still bigger than the mini baby potatoes. I had gotten the baby potatoes, so I figured, oh, let's see what I can whip up. And they were just sitting there on the counter, and I was afraid that they were going to go bad. So that day I said, you know what, let me see what I can whip up. And that's how this came about. The espresso, well, I mean, I can't use a lot of spices, so I figured let me try this and see how it tastes. And oh, that richness this adds to the dishes is just exquisite. All right, this is done. So now let's give this a try. Now, normally, let me turn this off. Normally I'll use a plate, you know, but since this has liquid in it, I kind of want the liquid in there. So I'm just going to use this little bowl right here to give this a little taste test. Oh man, look at that. Oh, those mushrooms look so good. Yum. Oh, yummy. If you don't want this much liquid, you can just use the juice of half a lime, because that lime was pretty big, but you can use just half of the lime is fine. I particularly like lime juice, so I was in the mood and I added the whole one, but you can add half, it's fine. All right, so let's taste this. Oh man, wow. I could taste the lime juice. And the balsamic vinegar, it's really good. Sorry. Now all this needed was a little bit of salt. You know, I don't like to add too much salt in the beginning. You know, it's during the mid to later cooking process that I like to add the salt to this particular dish. If you want less liquid, again, you can add only half the lime, and instead of 1/4 olive oil and 1/4 balsamic, all you have to do is you can just use maybe 4 tablespoons of balsamic and 4 of olive oil instead, and then just cook it in that with the espresso, of course. If you want to omit the espresso, that's totally fine, but I definitely wouldn't in this case. It's just so good. The other variation that I have with this dish is I add mayonnaise to this dish at the very end once it's been a little bit cooled, and that's just to add a little bit of creaminess to it. And I have a little bit here, and I'm only going to add this much. This is like half a teaspoon, and I'm just going to add it to this. This has a lot of liquid in it. You don't have to, but like I said, I love the creaminess that it adds to the dish. Oh man, look at that. See, it's a lot more creamy. Let's taste how it is with this. Oh yeah. I love that. Oh man, that's so good. Yeah, I like that. Oh, man alive. That edamame rocks. So that's what you can do. Now, obviously I added a little bit of that, but you can add 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise to this dish entirely, and then just mix it in well, and you'll get a nice creaminess to it. So I'm going to do that. Actually, I need another spoon, clean spoon. I'm just going to add it in here. This is going to be great. Now if you want more saltiness to this dish, you can add bacon. That's totally fine. If you're going more healthy, obviously omit the bacon. Maybe you can add Canadian bacon to it instead of regular bacon. That's totally fine. I just like salty. That's why I add a little bit of salt in there. But I didn't add the bacon because I kind of wanted to go a little bit more healthy with this. Obviously the mayonnaise, it's light mayonnaise that I use. And obviously for some people that's not healthy enough. That's totally fine. You know, depending on your diet, you may not be able to add mayonnaise. No worries. You can adapt it however you want. And this dish is done. Look at how creamy this is. How cool is that? Oh, it looks great. I love it. I'm so excited. Look for this recipe on irritablelife.com, and look for me again next week. I'll be back with tips on health, you know, little motivations here and there, and hopefully another food recipe next week. See you guys. Have a wonderful weekend.